Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, we have some news that happened earlier this week from Nicaragua, number one pound for pound fighter in the world, Roman Gonzalez. His trainer died, a guy by the name of Arnulfo Obando, who's been his boxing coach pretty much his whole career. Passed away on Monday. He was declared brain dead. So first of all, rest in peace to Mr. Obando, and hopefully, Roman Gonzalez's career can stay the same. Because these things, he was declared brain dead on Monday morning. These things are always tough for a fighter. We had I made the video not too long ago about how Roman Gonzalez and Mike Tyson are very similar. That being that they lost both of their mentors very early in their careers. Mike Tyson obviously earlier than Roman, but still very similar, and they both went on to become great fighters. For Roman, this is the second. This is really the second big figure as far as the guys who have brought him up in boxing that have passed away. Obviously, Alexis Arguello, the great fighter, his mentor, another great Nicaraguan boxing great, passed away in 2009. Now we have Arnulfo Obando, who's been his boxing coach his whole career, basically, now dying this past Monday. And this comes at a time for Roman Gonzalez where, there's a lot of big fights on the table for him. He's clearly, and I say this maybe as a very small minority in boxing, but he's clearly, in my opinion, the best fighter in boxing. But the guys he's beaten, going up in weight, taking real risks for not maybe the most amount of money, and he's acted and behaved like a fighter. He hasn't been a diva like many of the guys that you guys hype up. He has been a superstar, a great fighter of the highest order, and this is something that could mentally affect his career. Now, I think Roman Gonzalez is definitely tough enough to overcome this, but when you have guys killers in that division, you have the Carlos Cuadras rematch on the table, that Juan Francisco Estrada rematch on the table, the Inoue fight on the table. These are three legitimate options for him next year. And if he does win those fights, let's say he does win a couple of those fights, I've said this many times, I believe he can go down as a top 30 fighter in the history of boxing. Maybe even the best fighter of this decade, honestly. But this is something that could affect him. It's never easy losing, a guy that's been in your corner the whole time. So it's going to be interesting to see how Roman bounces back from this. And yeah, man, his career's just in a very interesting place right now, because I was at his last fight in September. Great crowd at the Forum in Inglewood. And that was a really, really hard fight. I mean, God bless Roman Gonzalez, but I got to be honest. If that fight was 15 rounds, if we were in a 15-round era, he might have been in some serious trouble. Because it was his first fight at 115 pounds, at a new weight, against a bigger man, a guy who could punch really hard, a strong, young, proven champion in Carlos Cuadras, who, in the first 6-7 rounds, Roman was doing really well. But that second half of the fight, for the majority, he was gassing out, and Cuadras was really piecing him up. And if we were in a 15-round era, he might have not won that fight. But maybe he picks it up and catches a second win and beats him, but from what we saw in the second half, maybe he wouldn't have won that fight. So, Roman Gonzalez, man, we'll see what happens. I think he's got a chance. With Arguello passing away, with his coach now, and Arnulfo Obando coaching passing away. This is a chance for him to really show even more mental toughness and fighting some of the biggest fights of his career at the age of 29 in the flyweight division, where guys age quicker, they take more punches. 29 is really 36 in the weight classes. So, yeah, man. First, rest in peace to his boxing coach. And I hope Roman Gonzalez, eventually, for the sake of boxing, is able to make one of these big fights happen in his weight class, gets a ridiculously great payday, and I hope he wins them fights, honestly. So we'll see what happens. But that's the news, guys. Arnulfo Obando passes away at the age of 54. Roman Gonzalez, his longtime boxing coach, pretty much for his whole career, is no longer in his corner, and he joins Alexis Arguello. Basically as guys who have passed away in Roman's career. So let me know what you guys think. Where does Roman's career go from here? Do you think he'll still be the same fighter mentally? Not two very key figures in his career are not in this corner. Let me know in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from being it. So until next time, take care, guys.